Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Serpentine Path podcast. Here's a sneak peek of one of the exclusive extended episodes that I offer to the podcast subscribers over on the Patreon. The link is in the show notes if you would like to subscribe and enjoy. All right, hello, everyone. Hopefully, you've already had a chance to listen to the first part of the episode, Midwifing My Elders Through the Portal of Death. The second part will be out very soon, so stay on the lookout. But as I mentioned in the episode, I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about my grandmother Marnie and Abuela Maria and about their dying processes. So, as I mentioned, Abuela Maria's death was really shocking and very sudden. And as I said, everyone thought that Abuelo Kerouin was going to be the first one to die out of the two of them. And her death was really surprising and also really rocked everyone because, as I said, she had been Abuelo's full time caretaker. But something that I found out after she died was that Abuela had been telling her family members, so her daughter and her granddaughters, that she was going to be dying soon. And for like a few months, she had been saying to them, like, I'm gonna die pretty soon. And Abuela, again, wasn't so old, especially in comparison to Abuelo. He was 110, Abuela was 85. And she was in really, really good health. Like, the Abuela was really, like, killing it, she was killing the game. She had no health issues. And so everyone was kind of like, you're not dying anytime soon. But she said it a lot to her children and her grandchildren. And I would assume probably to Abuelo Kerouin, but I'm sure he was just kind of like, yeah, well, I'm going to die too. So, like, we're all dying. There was actually one time when Abuela had said to one of my friends on the porch, she was like talking about Abuelo and his dying process. And she was like, yeah, Abuelo's going to die. I'm going to die. Everyone's going to die. We all die. That's just what it is. My parents died. A lot of people that I love died. Death is death. And this is what it is. And she was just kind of like coming to peace with her own dying process. Her death was so different from Abuelo's, which I'll talk about in the upcoming episode, but she she knew that it was coming, and it was so interesting because, like, just maybe a few days before she died, like not even a week before she died, she was on the phone with one of my friends because I had some friends who were going to be coming to visit the jungle. Like, they came like 3 weeks after Abuela died, and so they were going to be there in like a month. And she was on the phone with my friend, and she told him, the tobacco seeds that you brought me last time, the plant is not propagating very well. And I think she said something along the lines of like the roots are like yellow. They have this yellow color to them. And the last time that I saw something like that, like in my culture, in the Muroi culture, we say that that's a sign that someone is going to die. And the last time I saw something like that was when my father died. And so Abuela just, she knew, I mean, she was so tapped in. She was such a powerful spiritual master, Abuela Maria. And I'm going to do a whole episode dedicated to her, but she was so tuned into the cycles of life and death and the sacredness of that cycle and the, I don't know how to describe it, like the subtlety of the veil. Like, she was so familiar with it. She was such like a time traveler and shapeshifter and dimension hopper, and she just knew that it was coming. And so when she was dying, when it actually did finally come for her, she knew. And that's why she said, when she was out in the field lying on the ground, she said, I am going to die. Take me to my family's house because I want to die surrounded by my daughter and my granddaughter and all of my great grandchildren. I want to be with my family when I die. And I remember talking with a friend after Abuela's death, and I was like, oh my God, but this was just so crazy. Like, there was no signs, like, there was nothing coming. Like, she was in perfect health. Like, It's not like Abuelo where he's been sick for like almost a year now. Like she just dropped dead. And I remember Abuelo saying like she was up this morning yelling at me, yelling at the chickens, cooking food, doing her thing, and now she's dead. Like she was perfectly fine this morning and now she's dead. Like even for Abuelo it was so shocking, right? And my friend said to me, "Yeah, but it's so in Abuela's character to have died the way that she did. Abuela was not going to sit around and be sick and suffer. Abuela was so strong willed. And if she was going to go and she knew it was her time to go, she was just going to get on with it." All right. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more, please feel free to subscribe to the Serpentine Path Patreon, which is linked in the show notes. On the Patreon, you can also find more of my musical offerings, inspiration behind all of my songs, written pieces that accompany many of the podcast episodes, health and educational resources and recommendations, and much, much more. Your support for this project means the world. Thank you so much.